Mozambique has been plagued by various crises in recent decades, notable political military conflicts, insurgents, the impact of climate change, cybersecurity, human rights violation, ambiguity in religious freedom, gender integration, and terrorism. The last has led to the internal displacement of thousands of citizens, especially young people and girls in the northern region of Mozambique, exacerbating the deterioration of the human rights situation. Of fact, Organization for the Promotion of Peace and Humanitarian Development, aiming to support the promotion, defense, protection, and realization of human rights for internally displaced people living in accommodation centers and host family, with financial support from OSISA, Open Society Initiative for Southern Africa, introduced the MOZRELIEF program, citizen engagement for monitoring business and human rights of displaced youth and women victims of terrorism in the northern region of Mozambique. The noble MOZRELIEF initiative is being implemented in the northern region of Mozambique, in the resettlement neighborhood and/or with the host family, in Pemba, Shuri, Montepuez, in Cabo Delgado, Korani, in Nampula, and Kwamba in Niassa province. Its purpose is to engage citizens and community civic groups such as young people, girls, and human rights defenders with tools to monitor the respect of the rights of young people and women who are victims of terrorism in the northern region of Mozambique. To address the challenge of human rights violation in business environment, in the resettlement neighborhood, and/or with the host family, OFAD engaged and involved various government entities, academics, civic society organizations, community leaders, youth, women, civic committees of human rights operators, and key actors in the administration of justice, human rights in pursuing various actions to create a favorable environment for monitoring the violation of human rights. Those actions included mobilization, awareness raising, and engagement of over 1,525 beneficiaries, including local, provincial, and national government members, traditional community leaders, and citizens from the resettlement neighborhood and surrounding areas of Mekonta, Pemba, Shuri, Montepuez, Kwamba, Nshinga, and Nampula, to support the MOZRELIEF initiative, especially in the addressing human rights violation in the business environment, in the resettlement neighborhood, and with the host family in the target district. OFAD conducted a baseline study involving local authorities, leaders, and heads of the resettlement neighborhoods, as well as residents of the surrounding areas. To address the challenges identified in the baseline study, OFAD developed a set of activities to socialize results and build capacities, including Northern Regional Social Reflection Seminar and training for over 50 activists, human rights operators, or on business and human rights involving displaced youth and girls victims of terrorism in Cabo Delgado. Subsequently, a Northern Regional meeting for training 35 trainer and activist human rights defenders on business and human rights for young people and girls in displaced situations. Based on the problems identified during the baseline study, reinforced by a public consultation conducted during visits to government, resettlement neighborhood, workshops, and seminars, the following issues were addressed: lack of knowledge and information about rights and guarantees for participation in monitoring, commitment to human rights, absence of secure means and mechanism for reporting and complaints, lack of access to information about the role and the competence of key actors in the administration of justice, lack of familiarity with the Mozambican legal framework and international human rights, absence of a formal and functional mechanism for coordination and collaboration among actors, and lack of knowledge about the role of community civic committees of human rights operators, among others. Those challenges led OFAD to provide transformative and lasting solutions focusing on development of reporting, complaints, suggestion, and coordination application called MOZRELIEF application. MOZRELIEF is a web or Android application designed to collect, manage, administrate, and control data on reports, complaints, suggestion, and coordination without dependence on the other servers. It accepts both online and offline formats, ensures data security, allows user location tracking, and enable data storage and management in both offline and online modes. It is user-friendly and can be installed on an Android-supported smartphone or accessed via the web through the Google Play Store and web interface of the system that operates through an internet browser. Is compatible with Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Opera, and other browsers including future versions. MOZRELIEF has the capability to restrict users' access to columns, table functions, areas, and periods through password, both for data updates and queries. It includes auditing tools to monitor users' transitions in the subsystem, ensuring effective tracking of activity and compliance, as well as generating reports. Development of a practical community script for reporting or complaints. The script outlines the process for addressing and resolving reports or complaints and involves attempts to solve the reports or complaints on site or at the source before submitting an official report or complaints or engaging in litigation. Formal registration of reports, complaints, and disputes that cannot be solved on site. Internal evaluation and potential resolution of reports or complaints within structure established or strengthened by OFAD. Referral to external institution for independent evaluation and judgment if internal resolution is unsuccessful. Referral to competent justice court for final decision if internal resolution is unsuccessful. The practical community script for reporting or complaints applies to human rights violation in resettlement accommodation centers for the displaced or in areas hosting displaced individuals, families, communities, business operation, or institution. Non-displaced individuals or parties with the complaints related to the human rights violations. Reports or complaints directly related to the resettlement accommodation process and the outcomes. Development of community handbook with 90 topics divided into 3 chapters on fundamental solution for promoting, defending, and realizing the human rights of displaced individuals in the business environment, resettlement neighborhoods, and host families. This community handbook is a collection of community-based intervention brochures that address basic and easily understandable topics for internally displaced people living in or outside of resettlement centers. It aims to ensuring the promotion, defense, protection, and realization of their rights. The IDPS Community Handbook covers 90 topics divided into 3 groups: basic foundation of rights and guarantees for IDPS, promotion and response mechanism, and secure alternative incoming generation has means of subsistence. The main topics covered include means and mechanism for reporting complaints and realization of human rights for women, human rights operators, community leaders, and youth in the business environment and resettlement centers. Information status of human rights operators, community leaders, youth, and women regarding to the role and competence of key actors in the administration and management of human rights in the business environment and resettlement centers. The Mozambican and international legal framework guiding the promotion, protection, and realization of human rights for community leaders, youth, women, and human rights operators in the business environment and the resettlement centers. The role of community civic committees of human rights operators for young people and women in promoting peace, security, development, and peaceful conflict resolution. Establishment and facilitation of 16 JAC, Community Civic Committees of Human Rights Operators in Accommodation Centers.
Mozambique, programa que visa reforçar capacidades e organização do cidadão e do poder local na promoção de
Capacity building for community civic committees of human rights operators in accommodation centers to facilitate knowledge transfer, training in the use of secure reporting and complaint mechanism, and production of community animators for human rights operators. OFAD conducted a community engagement campaign, mass capacity building and stimulation of community practice on human rights. This involved a total of 40 workshops covering 4 distinct topics related to the promotion, defense, protection, and realization of human rights for IDPs in business, environment, resettlement centers, and host families, benefiting approximately 732 individuals, including citizens and leaders of community civic committees of human rights operators for young people, women, leaders, and community animators. MOZRELIEF program, citizen engagement for monitoring business and human rights of displaced youth and women victims of terrorism in the northern region of Mozambique. This initiative was led by OFAD, Organization for the Promotion of Peace and Humanitarian Development, with financial support from the Open Society Initiative for Southern Africa, OSISA.